Welcome to Spain. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. I love España. I'm really happy to be here.
You can say something in Spanish?
No, yo hablo un poco, pero no bien. Pero entiendo, sí.
Oh, you speak well.
Un poco.
Can you tell us about the Spanish fans?
Oh my gosh, they're so passionate. They're so full of life. They're very excited to have us here, and it's really nice to meet them because I've met them at other conventions, and they've always said, "Come to Spain, come to Spain." So I'm really happy we were able to come here.
Storytelling Con is the first convention of Once Upon a Time here in our country. It helps people to get to meet you, to talk to you, but it also helps to the growth of the show, no?
Yeah, I would think so. I'm not sure. I feel like a lot of people that are here watch the show, but maybe whatever gets, posted on Twitter and social media, or even this interview will maybe turn, it will inspire other Españoles to watch the show and see what Once Upon a Time is all about. How do you say it in Español?
Érase una vez.
Érase una vez. Cool.
I think Regina is like the essence of the show. It's like the iconic character. What is the best thing and the worst thing of her?
Oh my gosh. I guess I can't say there are any worse things about her because I don't judge her. I think she's a phenomenal character. I would say maybe the best things are that she's a very strong, powerful woman who is determined and direct and confident and vulnerable and very complex. And these are all really great human qualities. And the worst thing is maybe her temper.
I think Regina is an important character for every woman because you say she's a strong woman. She's make herself. And I think in a moment like that, we're all wanting more and more female characters. It's so important. How do you feel sending that message?
I think it's very important for for people to, display these very strong, powerful, inspiring women. And the reason for that is because there are a lot of young women watching and even older women watching who maybe are struggling with something in their lives. And they learn something from these characters. And I mean, that's the beauty of art, is that you have an opportunity to inspire and the audience watches these characters and relates to them on some level, and on some level it changes their lives. So I think it's all very positive.
Henry, Emma, Robin, they're like the Achilles heel for Regina, but also her greatest strength, I think. How is working with all of them?
I think it's wonderful. It's kind of part of being a family. We all have people like that in our lives on some level, and Henry and Robin and Emma and Snow and even sometimes Charming they're all part of Regina's inner circle. Her family, Zelina, of course, is her sister, and they all play a very important role in Regina's life.
If you have now the chance to be the writer, which final would you choose for Regina?
Oh gosh, I think maybe for her to, she's had a pretty amazing life, and I would say that inner peace that she was able to find, in that big battle between her and the evil queen, I would say that was a pretty good final moment, but there's always more stories to tell, so I'm not sure. I'm going to leave that in the hands of the writers. I think they're better at that than I am.
We've heard a lot of families here in Spain and in other countries. They reunite every week just to watch Once Upon a Time, like a ritual. How do you feel knowing that you are part of the cause that makes them?
I think it's amazing that families, it's the Disney Hour. So historically, the Disney Hour always brought families together. So the fact that we are in that time slot of being the Disney Hour, at least back in the United States, from 8 to 9 p.m. on Sundays, I hear from many families that this is the show they watch with their children, and for many children, this is the show I watch with my mom, my dad, my grandparents. And I love that this show brings families together. I think it's very important because often we forget how valuable and special our families are. So to be a part of something that brings families together is very unique, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
And how do you feel? You always wanted to be an actress. Now you have a lot of success in all the world. There are people from Brazil coming to Spain just to meet you. How do you feel?
I feel it's very lucky. I think it's incredible, and not only from Brazil, but from Israel, from Russia, from France, from the United States. They even came here, from Mexico, from all over the world. And that's what's so great about these conventions, is it really does bring people together of all different cultures and, religious beliefs, of all different sexual orientations. And I think any sort of community that brings people together and they all share this one sort of passion or love for something is quite unique and very special.
You've been working in a lot of TV shows and also films. How do you think the TV world has changed since you started?
Well, it's changed on so many levels. There's more content out there. There's more networks. There are, now internet channels and YouTube channels, and you have Netflix, Amazon, and it's basically just opened the door to more creative projects and for people to tell more stories and for actors to get more jobs, which is always good. So I think it's the platform, the TV platform has really changed. I've been in television for almost 18 years, so I've really seen the evolution over the years, and I've been directly affected by it, and I've also benefited from it. So I think it's great. I think the more stories we can tell is wonderful, and all the different opportunities that we have as artists to be able to tell these stories it's quite inspiring.
And finally, we are a music station, so we would like to challenge you actors. If you could describe Regina with one song, which one would you choose?
Oh gosh, one song. Oh gosh, there's so many. There's a song. I don't even know. There's so many. I have playlists, and of course now I can't think of any of the songs. But "Mother, I'm Alive" is a song by Hottest Sun, and they're friends of mine. And that song really inspired me when I was in the early years of creating this character with Adam and Eddie. I felt like the song really had an impact on me, and I shared it with the fans, and they seem to love it too. But it's one that is very freeing, and one that is very sort of accepting of self and celebrating her life and who she is. And I think that really sums up Regina, is that she's always, celebrating her accomplishments quietly, but they are celebrated inside of her somewhere. And then she shares, these sort of her evolution with everyone, and it's just really awesome to see her grow in these ways.